Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with Matt, the mortgage guy, my Wednesday expert. Love to see what's going on in the mortgage market. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good for the most part. A little bit of
Yeah.
loan stress, but that's a good sign. It means
Yeah.
deals are happening.
Yeah, that's actually where I want to go with video number one today. One of the really cool things about having a mortgage guy on my show every week, like yourself, is you actually get to see dozens and dozens of contracts every week, right? Where an agent may do 5 or 6 a year, you get to see dozens a week because you're working not only in a very busy market of Sacramento, but you work across all 50 states. So I want to hear from you. What are you seeing different in offers in contracts? Because my data says they're very different than 60 days ago. I have agents from across the country on the line, but as a mortgage guy, what are you seeing very different in offers in contracts today versus 60 days ago?
Yeah, for sure. And there is a big difference in what is being included in these offers, what's not being included in these offers. Although, Sacramento and surrounding is where I do a lot more purchase business than anywhere else. Like you said, it's across the country, and it's, $1.8 million purchase in San Diego or San Jose to, $150,000, $200,000 investor purchases. So it's kind of the whole gamut. And with all of it, there's more inventory, there's less demand, which, as you would expect, more contingencies in place, seller concessions in the Sacramento market, especially where we saw 20 straight months. I'm going to show you some graphs in another video when we talk Sacramento specific. We had 20 straight months of less than 1 month of inventory. So it was so competitive. At the very least, you had an appraisal gap. Most contracts had no appraisal contingency at all. A lot of folks waived their inspection contingency, like it or not, like good idea or not, like that's what was happening. Very few had loan contingencies if they could remove that as well. So going from none of that stuff being present on a contract, offering 50,000 above list and having to close in 17 days, to now seeing not just one-off contracts with seller credit, but literally like every other contract I see has some form of seller credit, because buyers are wise enough to see, hey, listen, this thing sat for 33 days. Why not ask them for 8,000? Why not have them cover my closing costs or help me buy down the interest rate? Why not? Right. And so they're writing like this, and they're getting accepted. Right. It's one thing to write it, and it's another thing to say, it's funny. I might've been too quick. Right. I wrote a personal offer, my wife and I, 4 to 6 weeks ago, where we wrote in a seller credit, and it's why not. Right. Mm-hmm. They responded with no seller credits, but the stuff I'm seeing now for my clients, that stuff is getting accepted more often. I think that one hadn't been on the market that long. Probably, it was a stretch for me to ask for it, but whatever. So definitely the contracts have changed. The two big things in my eyes is that seller concessions are on there, which were non-existent in 2020 and 2021, except for on the outliers. And then the contingencies in place, especially regarding appraisal. I like thinking about the last 12 to 15 contracts I've looked at. I don't see the appraisal mentioned anymore. And it was literally on every file. You had to have the conversation of, hey, if this comes in short, we're willing to pay 20,000 above. And some people who weren't active in 18, 19 and, pre-madness in real estate, pre-COVID might not remember, but it used to be, if you wrote it at 420 and it came in at 400, you renegotiated
to 400, yeah, or
right.
405. Or
yeah, during 20 and 21, it was like, you better address this up front, because somebody's going to pay 420 for this. And so you're going to either say, I'm willing to pay 20,000 above, I'm willing to pay any number, the appraisal doesn't matter. But that's just stuff's just not there anymore. Like all of a sudden, Mike, and that's the thing about the real estate market right now that has guys like you and me watching really close. Mm-hmm. Change happens. We're used to that, but change happening this quick is surprising a lot of us, myself included, where if slowly over time, you started to see those contingencies weighed off, and then a couple deals have the seller credits on there, that'd be one thing. But to have it go from, one extreme to the other so fast has been surprising.
Yeah, this is what I'm telling everyone. This, again, what I'm telling you here is what I'm doing. So about 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually about 6 weeks ago, I changed my filters from first day on market to 15 days on market. I no longer looked at day 1 through 14. I didn't care. If it came on and went, no harm, no foul. Here in the last 3 weeks, I've actually changed it from 15 to 30 days. I will not write it. This is just my business. I will not write an offer on anything that's been on the market less than 30 days. I will not write offers at list price. They will all be under list price, something. I might as well ask. I will ask for the seller to pay all the closing costs, and I will ask them to buy down my interest rate a point. I'm going to ask for the world. They can say no. But folks, if you're in my course or you follow me, if you get the seller to pay closing costs, your yield goes up. If you get the seller to buy down your rate, your yield goes up. If you get a discount on price, your yield goes up. So all of these things are helpful. And my job, as you know, Matt, is only to do great deals. I am so excited by what is coming. The National Association of Realtors today came out and said 5.1 million annualized sales. We are down 1 million transactions in 6 months, 7 months. It's going to get worse. And what does that mean? That means it will be easier for me to find motivated sellers. And I'm just going to keep taking my shots. Again, think about what I just said. I won't write any offers on 30 days. Dude, my market for 2 years, the average days on market was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what I just said. I'm not writing anything less than 30 days. For 2 years, I would have got, the list would have been blank, right? And so not list price. Again, if you are new to this business or you've only experienced the last 2 years and you think writing a list price offer is bad, stop it. That market's over. Write at 5, write at 10, write at 15. Who cares? The worst thing they could do is say no. Most of them will counter. And always, if you're worried about yield or cash on cash, get the seller to pay closing costs. That is real money that improves your yield. And gosh darn it, get them to buy down your rate a point. That's the most expensive thing on your sheet. If you get them to take you from 6 to 5 or 6 1/4 to 5 1/4 or whatever, it all helps. This is 30-year fixed rate money. Go get it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great advice. And the good news is it's going to work, right?
Yeah.
One thing I will tell people is you got to be careful. Mike is targeting a specific type of seller. 30 days equals pain. 30 days equals, oh, shoot, I'm priced too high. I'm not, in tune with the market, not listening to my agent, or my agent isn't telling me the right things. Whatever the case may be, they are going to start playing ball, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I see where there's great agents out there. There's great agents advising well, where they might even ping a price knowing that we're leveling off that's really competitive. It might be below what the thing should sell for. So a list price at $399 the first day on the market, if everything around it is selling for $420 to $440, you can't necessarily go offer $360, right? It's going to be different with every single house, but that same property that got listed at $460 and now is on the market for 33 days, you can come in and write at $410 because they started off way off base.
And the beauty of this 30-day strategy, again, this is my strategy. You do you, whatever you want. When I write these offers, again, below list with closing costs, with rate buy down, the seller is going to do one of two things. Because again, if they're on the market 33 days, they've got nothing they've liked. So I'm just the next person. And let's be clear. Sometimes I will be first. Some of this stuff is so overpriced. My offer might be first. That is going to force a conversation. They are either A, going to negotiate with me, or, and equally good, they're going to take it off the market. Because one of the things that's going to happen over the next 3 to 4 months is there's going to be a lot of want to sell, not a lot of need to sell. So as I'm fishing at day 33 and day 35, I'm going to force that conversation, and lots of these will simply be withdrawn from the market. And that's okay. My job is to find the motivated seller in this big pile. They're not easy to find, at least not usually. So that's what I'm doing. Lots of people should be doing that too.
Yeah,
I think
they're coming though. The theme of Q3 and Q4 for anybody like looking at real estate is opportunity.
Yeah, there you go. Here. Yeah, get excited, folks. If you want to get pre-approved, you want to do investment loans, you want to know what's going on, I recommend Matt the Mortgage Guy. How do you want them to reach out?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. Get yourself pre-approved. We're in I think we just got Alaska. We're in 48 or 49 states. And if you're out there looking at opportunity, please, even if it's not us, Don't go out there and look and search and study and do 2 months of work before you're pre-approved. If you really want to buy, you need to be pre-approved. You need to know what the financing terms look like. You're going to get that from a lender when you get pre-approved. If they're any good, they're going to show you exactly what it looks like if you put 20% down, if you put 25% down, if you buy at 450 or you buy at 425. Then you take that, you run your numbers, you figure out, okay, for this 3.2 that we'll rent for 2,200, I need to get it at X price. And then you go offer at that price. Some of you are going to be able to offer at that price with some seller credit. Some are you're going to be able to offer below that price, and you're going to find a deal that works for your specific criteria in your market.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Video number 2, folks. We're going to talk about Sacramento. If you want to hear about that, tune in for video number 2. Thanks, buddy.